Recursion is a programming pattern that is useful in the situations when a task can be naturally split into several tasks of the same kind, but simpler. When a function solves a problem, in the process it can call many other functions. A partial case of this, when a function calls itself, that's called a recursion. For something simple to start with, let's write a function power that raises x to natural power of n. In other words, multiply x by itself n times. There are two ways of thinking of to implement it. The first way is iterative way by for loop. So let's create the function power and the result variable will be holding the result. For loop for iterate until nth time. So result will be multiply by x and in the end let's return the final result. So let's call the power function. Let's console.log the power function and you can see in the console the 8 appears. The other way of thinking is recursive thinking. Simplify the task and call the function itself again. So let's create the function power and it accepts the parameter x and n, and if n equals to 1 we're going to immediately return the x, and if it's not then we're going to call the function again, x multiplied by power, the first parameter, and n minus 1. So let's run the function and you can see in the debug console it returns the 8. Now let's examine how recursive call works. For that we'll look under the hood of the function. The information about the process of execution of a running function is stored in its execution context. One function has exactly one execution context associated with it. When a function makes a nested call, the following happens. The current function is paused. The execution context associated with it is remembered in a special data structure called execution context stack. The nested call executes. After it ends, the old execution context is retrieved from the stack and outer function is resumed from where it is stopped. Let's see what happens during the power 2 by 3 call. In the beginning of the call, power 2 by 3, the execution context will store variables as x equals to 2 and n equals to 3. The execution flow is at line number 1 of the function. We can sketch it as context x is 2, n is 3 at line number 1. That's when the function starts to execute. The condition n equals to 1 is falsy, so flow continues to the second line of if branch. The variables are the same, but the line changes, so the context is now x equals to 2 and n equals to 3 at line number 5. To calculate the else part of the function, we need to make a subcall of power function with the new arguments power 2 by 2. To do a nested call, JavaScript remembers the current execution context in the execution context stack. Here we call the same function power, but it absolutely doesn't matter. The process is the same for all functions. The current context is remembered on the top of the stack. The new context is created for the subcall. When the subcall is finished, the previous context is popped from the stack and execution continues. Here is the context stack when we entered the subcall of power 2 by 2. The new current execution context is on the top and bold, and previous remembered context are below. When we finish the subcall, it is easy to resume the previous context because it keeps both variables and exact place of the code where it stopped. The process repeats. A new subcall is made at line number 5, and now with the new arguments x equals to 2 and n equals to 1. The new execution context is created. The previous one is pushed on the top of the stack. There are two old contexts now, and one is currently running for power 2 by 1. During the execution of power 2 by 1, unlike before, the condition n equals to 1 is truthy, so the first branch of if works. There are no more nested calls, so the function finished with returning us 2. As the function finished, its execution context is not needed anymore, so it removes from the memory. The previous one is restored on the top of the stack. The execution of power 2 by 2 is resumed and it has the result of subcall of power 2 by 1. So it also can finish the evaluation of x multiplied by power of xn minus 1 and returning us 4. Then the previous context is restored. When it finished, we have the result of power 2 by 3, that is 8. The recursion depth in this case was 3. As we can see from the illustration above, recursion depth equals the maximum number of contexts in this stack. Note that the memory requirements contexts take memory. In our case, raising the power of n actually requires the memory of n contexts for all lower values of n. A loop-based algorithm is more memory saving. The iterative function uses a single context changing I and results in the process. Its memory requirements are small, fixed, and do not depend on n, but sometimes the rewrite is not trivial, especially when a function uses different recursive subcalls depending on the conditions and merge their results, or when the branching is more intricate and the optimization may be unneeded and totally not worth the effort. Recursion can give a shorter code, easier to understand and support. Optimization are not required in every place. Mostly we need a good code, that's why we use it.